No one saw this coming. After years of silence, a man has come forward with a claim so explosive it threatens to shake the entire Catholic Church. Not a scandal from the Vatican's financial dealings, not another controversy about power struggles within the Curia. No, this one strikes directly at the heart of the papacy. A man ordinary in appearance but heavy with purpose is saying 4 words that the world never expected to hear. I am his son. Yes, according to him, Pope Francis, beloved by millions and hailed as a reformer of the modern church, abandoned a secret family decades ago. And now the son has broken his silence. This isn't just a story about money. It's a story of abandonment, secrecy, and the collision of fatherhood with faith. It's about betrayal, not between nations or religions, but between a father and his child. And now, as this man steps into the spotlight, he's not just asking for recognition. He's demanding a share of Pope Francis's fortune and calling out what he describes as a lifetime of silence, shame, and emotional exile. For years, the public saw Pope Francis as the embodiment of humility. A man who rode in simple cars, lived in modest rooms, and preached about caring for the poor. Born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Buenos Aires, Argentina, he was the son of Italian immigrants, known for his deep compassion and simple life. But now, a chapter from his past has been ripped open. A chapter he never thought the world would read, and the man holding the book open? A son who says he was left behind, ignored by the very man who now leads over 1 billion souls. The son claims he was raised in obscurity by a single mother, who carried the burden of silence for decades. She never wanted to expose the truth, fearing the power of the church and what it might do to her child's life. But the pain was always there, quiet, constant, and real. Growing up, he says, he watched other children being held by their fathers, being taught, being loved. And all he had were questions. Why didn't his father ever show up? Why did he choose the Vatican over his own blood? As the boy grew, so did the answers. Slowly, pieces came together. Whispers from family members, glimpses into his mother's, guarded past and stories that aligned too closely to be coincidence. Eventually, he confronted his mother. She confessed everything. His father, she said, was Jorge Mario Bergoglio, the same man the world now calls Pope Francis. Can you imagine the weight of that moment? To discover that the most powerful religious figure in the world is your father, and that he left you behind. For years, the son remained silent. Not because he didn't want to speak, but because he feared no one would listen. But as time went on and as Pope Francis's influence grew, something inside him changed. With every public speech, with every appearance on global news, the absence burned deeper. The man who preached about justice, love, and humility had left a hole in his life that could never be filled by doctrine alone. So now he's speaking out, loudly, publicly, and with a demand that's making headlines across the world. He's asking for financial compensation, not just for himself, but for his mother, who he says was left to struggle alone. But more than that, he wants the truth. He wants the world to see the full picture of the man wearing the white robe in Vatican City. Is it greed? Some say yes, that this is just a man trying to profit from power. But others are beginning to listen with sympathy. They see the pain in his eyes, the conviction in his voice, and they ask a question that has no easy answer. What if he's telling the truth? In interviews, the son has shared fragments of his life, his mother's tears, the years of poverty, the empty holidays, the unanswered questions. He says the Pope knew about him, that Jorge, before he ever became Francis, knew he had a child, but walked away to pursue the priesthood. If true, this would mean Pope Francis made a conscious decision to abandon his family in order to serve the Church. The Vatican has remained mostly silent. No official denial, no confirmation, just whispers from behind closed doors, as church officials scramble to understand what this could mean. Could it be true? Could the Pope, the Holy Father himself, have violated his sacred vows before he ever took them publicly? Behind the scenes, insiders suggest a storm is brewing. Some are calling for a quiet settlement. Others want the Pope to speak out, to confirm or deny, to address the world with the same openness he's demanded from others, but the silence is deafening. And here's where things take a darker turn, because the Son is not alone. There are people around him, supporters, former associates of the Pope's early days, even a few ex-members of the clergy, who claim this isn't the only secret being kept. That Pope Francis, during his younger years, may have had more relationships, more complicated past ties, more reasons to hide his personal life from public view. There are whispers of hidden letters, of old photographs, of unspoken deals made long before Francis ever became Pope. Some are calling it a smear campaign. Others call it a reckoning. For the Son, though, it's not about vengeance, it's about closure. In a recent emotional interview, he said, "I'm not trying to destroy anyone, I just want to be seen. I just want my Father to acknowledge me, not as the Pope, as the man who left us behind." His voice cracked as he spoke. You could hear the pain, the decades of unanswered prayers, the loneliness, the ache of being forgotten by the one person who was supposed to protect you from the world. And now, as this story spreads, the question on everyone's lips is simple. Will Pope Francis respond? If he does, it could reshape the way billions of people see him. If he stays silent, it may confirm the very pain his Son has carried for so long. Some say the Pope should speak, others say the Church must protect its leader at all costs. But in a time when truth is demanded more than ever, silence might be the loudest answer of all. What makes this scandal so unique is not just that it involves the Pope. It's that it involves something universal: family, love, betrayal, the wounds of abandonment. This isn't just about religion, it's about humanity. A man gave his life to God, and in doing so, may have turned his back on his own child. Now the child has returned, not as a boy, but as a man demanding to be seen, and the world is watching. This story is still developing, but one thing is certain: whatever happens next will forever be written in the legacy of Pope Francis. Whether that legacy is one of grace or one of denial remains to be seen.